It's like Christmas, except it's warmer. Hey. Folks, welcome to the Baseball Brewhaha. We got coffee. It is cold where I live. Is it pretty cold where you live?
It's cold. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's
And
like
now that it's basically mid-January, it's only a little bit like Christmas, except it's not warmer.
Mhm.
So, any guess before we launch into this quote? What is this talking about?
It's like Christmas except it's warmer. Spring training?
Opening day.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So we got an opening day quote.
Okay.
It's like Christmas, except it's warmer. Who said it? We have George Brett, Jimmy Rollins, Pete Rose, George Vecsey, or none of the above.
I'm gonna go with George Brett. I feel like this is a George Bretty. I mean, I don't know George Brett that well, but it feels like a George Bretty thing to say.
Yeah, I agree. Except I'm gonna go Pete Rose. This seems
Okay.
Pete Rosey as
Yeah,
well.
I kind of had that thought too. But
Similar era, you
Mhm.
know. So let's take a peek. We're going straight to it.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, does it feel like Christmas to you? Opening day
Yeah,
is that what it is to you?
I would say
Um,
so. I mean, it's like very exciting to me. Like I love opening
yeah,
day. I mean, I don't necessarily get a chance to watch the game, but it's like opening day. It still
yeah,
feels that way for sure.
yeah. Well, unfortunately, with the who said it questions, they're fun, but there's no context.
It's just
So,
let's.
so all we get is the answer.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do a little of your googling.
Uh-huh.
Um, but this was Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. Okay. Um. Yeah. This part of
I
this is
do
like.
have I have George Brett's quote here. Let's see which one his was. So um, while you're looking that up, let's see which George Brett did have an opening day quote. And
Mhm.
his was there's nothing like opening day. There's nothing like the start of a new season. That's very vanilla.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not really much given here. It just sort of talks about it. But um, yeah, no. So not really much context. So let's harken back a bit here. We get some chime in. We need some chime ins from Nick, Grant. Here. What was
Romney.
opening Romney? Yeah, when you played, what was opening day like? Was it like Christmas? First game of the year. Um, I would say often for us, it was like Christmas and just as cold.
I mean, we played a game in the snow one year.
Yeah, we played. I remember playing Colton in the
Yeah.
snow, and I think I told this story before. We were seniors, and I feel somewhat ashamed to say this, but of actually having in a bat where I went up there hoping not to swing, and I was fortunate enough to get walked on 4 pitches. Um, but it was spitting snow, and it was nighttime. It was not fun. It was not a fun time.
It wasn't.
Um,
Yeah.
and for us, our spring training, if you will, um, started in what I mean. Let's see. We played a couple of state championships in basketball, which took us into the first week of March. But on the years, our freshman and sophomore years, when we got beat out of the playoffs early, we're starting baseball practice like mid-February,
Yeah.
and
In the
mid-February
gym.
in a gym. Yeah. And we'd sneak out. If we had a nice day, we'd sneak out and do like sliding, a little bit of, if the turf, in this, our school where we played, so we went to a co-op high school. What does that mean, you ask? That means our towns were too small to be their own school, so we combined into one school. And the high school was in one town, and our baseball field was in the other town where we lived. And so, but the gym that we were practicing was in the high school town.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we can,
That's,
even the days we were getting outside, we weren't on the field. We didn't get on the
Yeah.
field for, I mean, there were sometimes we were literally like a month in the gym outside. We didn't see the field. We'd play, our first couple of games would be in another town that was 10 degrees warmer. It was a half an hour away.
yeah.
You know,
And usually our first practices on the field, like half the practice was field maintenance.
yeah, totally. Yeah,
It's like
raking.
raking,
Hmm. Yeah.
putting sand on the field so it's dry enough to play,
Yeah,
all
I
the fun
remember. I
stuff.
remember there was a game one year. I can't remember what year it was, but we're out there, and uh, Brantner was our assistant that year, and he's out there with a shop vac
Yeah.
sucking water off the out in the shallow left field, because our field was in the bottom of a bowl, and
Yeah.
it drained fine, but you get a lot of rain, and around there it's like, you didn't have like, these are high school kids. You don't have all day to like figure out how to, or all the, to figure out where to stick in an extra game, you know. So sometimes you'd pick up a double header you weren't thinking you were going to, or whatever. I know, make it work. But fortunately, we didn't have too many of those situations. But it was Christmas, and it was cold in some of those
Yeah.
games. So,
Yeah.
so all right, folks. Thanks for hanging with us in our story about Christmas. So, you know, it's fun. Yeah, the Wintry Cup even. We'll see you tomorrow.